So when I first started getting into cosplay, it was 2012. I started seeing things about like costumes, and I was really intrigued because I was always a big fan of Halloween when I was a little kid. My first costume was kind of a jury rig of borrowed dress from a friend and a $15 eBay wig that the hair was coming out in handfuls. When I first started getting into it, it was more of like buying things from DI and trying to piece it together and making small adjustments to sewing my costumes fully and making patterns. And I've been cosplaying ever since. The costume I'm going to be dressing up in is Dryad Soraka from League of Legends. My friend was already doing League of Legends cosplays, and his were amazing, and he was getting a great response from everybody, and so I just kind of decided I would do the character that I liked. So the initial process of it was mostly getting references, and thanks to the popularity of League of Legends, I was able to get a 3D model of it so I could like spin it around, look up everywhere, and decide what I wanted to do. Kind of hard to take on at first because her feet are hooves, because she's this unicorn space goat. And so that was an initial task of trying to figure out how to do hooves. I actually messaged another person who did the same costume on how they did their hooves. So what I did is I took some platform heels and I initially cut off the heel of the shoe, and then what I did is I added 2 wood blocks to the bottom with bracket reinforcement, and then I wrapped it in floor foam, like EVA foam, and then I wrapped that in thermoplastic, and then I painted it and covered it in a rubbery material so it could flex some when I stepped. Then I painted it again, and then I added some floor tread to the bottom so I wouldn't fall. And so that's initially where I started, is with the shoes, because I wanted to work my way up the costume. She has fur on her legs, so what I did is I took yarn and I brushed it out and I flat ironed it and I sewed it on to some tights where I painted the tattoos on. And then I made the tunic and the belt. It was just a lot of fabric work and painting mostly. The wig is just styled in a way with foam balls inside, and then the staff that you'll see later was made with PVC pipe. So where I wore Dryad Soraka to is Salt Lake Gaming Con. It was its first year, and so I decided I would make that my first convention. I entered in the intermediate section, so there was beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So I entered in the intermediate because I felt like I was sort of in that in-between, and I ended up winning first place in the intermediate. This is my trophy. So it was 90% construction and 10% performance.